Hey everyone, it's the finally Friday edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. Hope you're enjoying another pretty good weather day today. Yeah, it's a little cloudier today than the last couple of days, but it's not bad outside at all. It's actually fairly mild. Let me bring up the temperatures here. I'm recording this just before 3 o'clock, and it's 64 here in Youngstown, 63 Newcastle, and over towards Akron, Canton, 65, 67 degrees. Ravenna's at 65. These are all above average. We should be around 60 at this time of the year for a high, so we're doing pretty well there. And you'll notice that the radar is pretty quiet. We've been talking about this chance for a late day shower today for a few days. It's just having a hard time materializing. I'll show you the dew points here. Dew points are pretty low. The air mass is dry. Dew points locally are down in the 30s. They get a little higher off to the west, close to 40 out towards Toledo. But these are still dew points that aren't very high, indicative that the lower levels of the atmosphere are still pretty dry. So we're just going to have a hard time squeezing much moisture out of this approaching front. That front is approaching from the west, and you'll notice the air behind it. Yes, it is cooler. Temperatures have cooled off down into the 40s to around 50. So this isn't the strongest front in the world, but we'll notice the change tomorrow by 4 or 5 degrees. It'll be 4 or 5 degrees cooler tomorrow than it was today, but still not a bad start to the weekend at all coming up tomorrow with lots of sunshine. We're enjoying pretty nice weather here, but it's a washout down in the southeast. This is bringing heavy amounts of rain to the panhandle of Florida. Some thunderstorms down here towards the Tampa area. And, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Try to get that back up here. Yeah, there we go. And more steady, cold rain up into Atlanta, over towards Columbia. So the Southeast's not enjoying a great Friday. Thankfully, that rain is going to miss us. I'm going to bring up the latest high-resolution rapid refresh model here and show you just how little moisture this thing's going to squeeze out for the rest of the day today. Now, it's Friday evening. You might have some outdoor plans. Might be your golf league night, or might have softball practice or something like that tonight. And so I'm going to take this hour through hour, but again, you're not going to see much happen here. Here's 4 o'clock this afternoon, so about an hour after I record this. It's trying to spin up a couple of sprinkles here across northwest Ohio and out over the lake. Roll forward here to 6 o'clock this evening, maybe a sprinkle or a shower out towards I-71, Mansfield to Cleveland. And then past sunset, or right around sunset, 8 o'clock this evening, again, there's just not much going on. So I'm not going to take a sprinkle out of the forecast, but you're certainly not going to find many raindrops at all out there for the rest of the day today. As we head into the weekend, as promised, it's going to be a nice one. Tomorrow, beautiful sunny day, just a little bit cooler than today. Our center of high pressure is up across parts of Canada. It's going to be a light east to southeast wind for us tomorrow. Sunday, more of a southerly component to the wind, and that's going to warm us up nicely. I think we've got a good shot at 70 Sunday afternoon. It's going to be a dry Easter Sunday. If you're heading out to religious services, first thing Sunday morning, temperatures probably around 40, 41 at daybreak. So, yeah, chill in the air, jacket weather, but we'll be shedding those jackets for the afternoon. If you watched this video yesterday, I talked about how the next front's looking slower and slower. That's still pretty much the case. This is Monday evening. Rain's not here yet. I do think it's much more likely Monday night. Heading into Tuesday, this might be a kind of a morning-only thing on Tuesday. Not sure about that yet, but this is a pretty decent shot of chilly air coming behind this front. I think Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, there might be a stray snowflake in the higher terrain east of Pittsburgh. Elevations out there get up to around 2,000 feet, and there might be some snowflakes out there, but I doubt here. That moisture pretty much is out of here Wednesday. Maybe there's a sprinkle Wednesday, but no big deal. And then it's going to start to warm back up at the end of next week. And end of next week looks pretty good. We do have a little bit of a change in the ideas, though, in the longer range. The models are starting to trend cooler in the longer range. This is the 7 to 14 day outlook. This is basically the last full week of April heading into the first 2 days of May. And yeah, a little cooler than average on the latest GFS ensemble forecast here. Warm in the Rockies, but yeah, a little cooler than average here. Climate forecast system for basically the same period, last 5 days of April, first 2 days of May. Definitely a coolish look here. We were talking about how the end of April and the beginning of May might be a little warmer than average, but the latest runs of these models are to be believed. We might have to kind of back off on that idea a little bit, but nonetheless, average at this time of the year, getting up into the lower 60s by day, lower 40s by night. So even a below average day in the last half of April, you could still have a high of 59, 60 degrees. So it doesn't have to be cold to be below average. But something to keep in mind that any sort of prolonged, real warm weather, lots of days in the 70s, we still might be a few weeks away from that. So that's weather for Weather Geeks on this Friday. Thanks for tuning in. You can catch me on 21 News tonight at 6 and 11. And for you weekenders, Mike Joyce is back in the evening, Saturday and Sunday, keeping you up to date on what you can expect Easter Sunday and beyond. So I'll see you right back here on Monday.